Hi everyone, how you all doing? I'm a great believer in blaming myself when I make mistakes. Does anybody like self-reflection? There's a lot of songs that have been written about self-reflection, but one of my favourite ones is by the singer Fish, used to be Marillion, and he wrote a song called Sugar Mice in the Rain. And what I love about this song is, although he recognises he's made a lot of mistakes, and he has made a lot of mistakes because he's lost his wife, he's lost his children because of his drinking. This is within the song and within the video. If you get the chance, have a look at it. It's called Sugar Mice, and it's a fantastic song. The gist of this is he realises while he's sat there in the bar with all the other drunks and all the other wasters, if you want, use that word, wasters. Although I don't really like to use that word all the time when it comes to someone who turns to drink, because you're not just a waster, are you? There's a reason why a person goes down that route. But in his case, the self-reflection comes in when he thinks of all the good times that he's had with his children, and then when it all comes and ends, he blames himself. And that's one of the lines that he sings in the song. Blame it all on me is what he keeps singing. This is usually after he's had a chance to self-reflect and realise that he's the cause of all his miseries and all his woes. His wife's left him and his children are no longer speaking to him. And he doesn't try to blame anybody else in this song, in this video. He only blames himself. And I remember the first time I heard this and the first time I looked and I studied the words of the song, and I thought, it takes a special person, doesn't it, to admit that they've gone wrong, they've made a lot of mistakes. But when you do, and you don't look for a scapegoat, you don't look for someone else to blame, because your wisdom is telling you that nobody told you to go to the excesses of drink. Nobody made you do that. You chose to do that yourself. So that's an example of self-reflection on just this one particular song. But there's absolutely loads. There's thousands of songs that people have written with self-reflection, where they've realised that they've lost someone very close to them, maybe someone that they really loved intently, and because they've pursued not a wise course, in fact, a very, very unwise course. Either they've pursued a life of drink or drugs or gambling or adultery or whatever. They've had a chance to analyse how that's left them alone, with no one calling on them, because everyone else has just moved on with their life while you've been, when I say you, I mean in the collective sense, while that person has been pursuing his own selfish interest. Everybody else that was once very close to him, they've all moved on with their lives, which is what you would expect people to do. But what happens if you could use this same principle for maybe your association with your past religion as a Jehovah's Witness? If you use self-reflection and a similar principle to that, you might be miserable now, or you might be happy as Larry that you're not part of that particular religion anymore. Some people are not happy. Some people have go into some kind of depression. But other people, they pick themselves up and they get on. And they lead a near as happy life as they possibly can. So the self-reflection could come in where you'll say to yourself, well, I wasn't forced to study with the Jehovah's Witnesses. This is what you could do. You could sort of mark out the pros and the cons. And the truth would be that nobody forced you to study with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Nobody forced you either to dedicate your life. You come to a point in your life where you chose to do that. You wanted to dedicate yourself, and so you did everything you could to meet the grade for baptism. So the self-reflection is, you're not part of that now. That's what you were once belonged to, but you're not part of that now. Do you believe that you were misled back then? Or did you go in and make all those decisions using as much wisdom as you had at the time, believing that everything that you were studying was straight and true? Well, if you did, and you believed it was all right at that time, then it's probably not a good idea, is it, to chastise yourself now? Beat yourself up now? Or even try and find someone else to blame? This is the point of this video is, don't try and find someone else to blame through something that you openly went into and willingly went into and participated in and actually got completely immersed in, threw your whole life into it. If that's what we did at that time, that's because we wanted to. We wanted to take part in the preaching activity. We wanted to dedicate ourselves to the sovereign Lord of the universe. We wanted to associate with like-minded people at that time. We wanted to do all those things. Nobody forced us. And if we go back to the song, Sugar Mice in the Rain, he wanted to pursue drink. That's what he loved. But he doesn't at any stage turn round and blame his wife and his children. He only blames himself. And I would use that principle for all of us now and say that we only have ourselves to blame if we find ourselves with a self-reflecting, similar outlook as Marillion did, Fish Out of Marillion in that song. We can only blame ourselves because we willingly, wholeheartedly wanted to be a Jehovah's Witness at that time. But we no longer do. So if we no longer do what be a Jehovah's Witness now, we blame ourselves and we don't blame anybody else. You understand? That's what I'm trying to say. I don't blame anybody else. I don't associate. Haven't been for a while. If I've missed out on my ultimate prize, I blame myself and I don't look to blame anybody else. I just wish more people would realise that that's where it should be at this time. You haven't been deceived, people. You haven't been deceived because you all were happy at the time to be a Jehovah's Witness. So you were never deceived. You did something that you wanted to do.